Okay, here I am. My 18 followers on YouTube and the 2 people that actually asked me to show them how to make my calzone. This is one of the finished calzones without the olive oil and tomato on the top. You can see get some nice air in there in the crust, and it's pretty good. So let's pull one that's ready out of the refrigerator before we make our next one. Alright. Okay. And by refrigerator I do mean oven. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Tomato sauce browned a little bit, but this is really nice. Nice and crispy. Some soft areas in there, but this is the final product. There we go. So you got to get that frame to put on the cover for. There we go. Okay, so we'll set this out. Let's get started. Okay. So first of all, you're going to need to have your dough already made. There's plenty of videos on how to make a good Neapolitan dough. I recommend the Vito Iacopelli. Just look for the best pizza channel ever and you'll find them. It's absolutely wonderful. That's where I learned how to make my dough. You make it from what's called a poulish, and that is a pre-fermented dough, and then from that you make your final dough by adding some more flour and such to it. And alright, so the top part we're going to want to keep on top, but we want to get a little bit of flour on it, so we're just going to turn it upside down for just a second here using our bench scraper. Okay, just a little bit here. There we go. And now I'm just going to gently flip it over, so now the top side is still the top side, and just get, there we go. Okay, so once we get the flour on it, this is about 300 grams of the pizza dough. It's a little bit more than a Neapolitan pizza, but when I'm making my calzones, I like to have a little bit more dough in there so it doesn't get so thin. Bubbles like this, we're just going to pop those as we go so we don't get a big bubble. Okay, so we're just going to go on the outside. And this is different than making a pizza. For this, we want to make an area that we can seal together. So we're just going to push all the air bubbles in. Okay, so you can see, looks like a nice UFO. And we have some nice area that if we were to fold this in half, we can seal this to that. Okay. Now we just need to just do a little bit of stretch. Okay. There we go. Stretch. Okay. Now I've pre-measured out ingredients. I'm making because I knew I was making 6. So okay. Now I'm just trying to stretch the edges out a little bit. There we go. This looks good. Okay. All right, I think we are good. So for the calzone, we're going to start out with, this is 100 grams of ricotta mixed with spinach, fresh basil leaves, fresh cracked pepper, black pepper, and some minced garlic. So we'll put that on. And as we spread it, we're going to leave that little margin for to be able to seal it together later. Okay. And so you can see that bubble there. We're just going to kind of work around it. All right. So just nice. So this is the ricotta cheese. And we have some sun-dried tomatoes in there also, if I didn't mention that already. Okay. All right. For mine, I like to add some tomato paste because it doesn't have a lot of. I like the tomato flavor like a pizza without having to add a lot of extra sauce. I also freeze these, and so this makes them kind of ready just to eat. So I'm using a tomato paste. It doesn't have a lot of water in it. So I'm going to spread that along the top here. All right. There we go. That bubble popped. All right. There we go. Okay. So this will give us a nice tomato flavor to it. Okay. Next, I have about 13 grams of green olives and red olives. I'm just going to take a portion of that and then put that in here. Okay. Next we have the meats. I have a boar's head low sodium ham, thinly sliced. I have them slice it as thin as possible, and then I cut it up. All right, and we only need to, and it's enough to just kind of coat the whole half like that. All right, and the pepperoni. Now the pepperoni is just fresh pepperoni. It is going to have a little bit of a grease to it, so it is going to add a little bit of the moisture to the inside. So again, this is like 20 grams of each of these meats. You can see that covers that pretty nicely. Okay. Next, we have about 8 grams of pepperoncini, finely diced. So the pepperoncini adds a nice spice and flavor to the whole deal here. Okay. Pepperoncini. And then I have mozzarella. I've let it sit overnight in. I pre-portioned it out, and then I wrapped it in paper towels. You can see the moisture is being wicked out of it. So for this, because we have the ricotta and the mozzarella, you can see that this is going to be more than enough cheese. So for this whole calzone, it is about 1,250 calories. I actually did that. I measured everything out and used my friend Alexa to help me find what the calculation was for everything. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so I have some Medica Picante Provolone, and I'm just going to put just a little bit of that on here. It just adds a little bit of extra flavor. All right, there's no calories to this because we didn't measure it out. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you can see we have this already. We're just going to fold it over like that. Now, I like to press down like this. Our goal here is to get a really good seal on this. So if you put your finger in and then pinch around your finger. Okay. All right. And now we're just going to pinch and fold, pinch and fold, pinch and fold, pinch and fold. So pinch, fold, put my finger there, pinch, fold. So we're kind of making a braid, if you will. And that just again helps to make a nice little edge crust and seals everything in so it's not leaking out. Okay, so we have this side done, and we're going to be going to the next side here. Okay, so I just take a little bit of our semolina flour. So I use semolina flour for this part of it, for the rolling it out and everything. But I use the Tipo 00 Caputo flour for actually making the dough. And I found that's worked really well. Okay, so now very gently and carefully, I'm just going to flip it over. Okay, so now just to kind of go back and reinforce that seal from this side. Okay, again, just a little bit more flour on top, keep it from sticking, and we will flip it back. Okay, a little bit of flour on the outside for when we scoop it up. There we go. Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay, so I got a little bit of flour underneath, so when we scoop it up, it slides out really nice. Okay. Want to make a few holes in here so that when it does cook, it's going to puff up. So you can see this really puffed up nicely. The air will come out of the slits, so it won't be a giant bubble. Okay, so now we have a you're just gonna need two or three tablespoons of this is just crushed tomatoes, a little bit of basil, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt. Not a whole lot. Just adding a little bit of flavor to the top. Okay, and then to get the nice brown, we want to just put a little bit of olive oil and kind of rub that on the crust where, all right, oh, there we go. All right, just a little bit of olive oil, just, dab, and then just kind of go along the areas that are exposed. Okay, so there we go. So that's what it's going to look like from a ready to go in. All right, so let's pop that in. So we're just gonna pinch and slide, and I like to kind of give it a little bit of a, here we'll just stretch it out just a little bit. Okay, and we'll stretch it out this way. Here we go. It's kind of our U-shaped calzone there. All right, stick that in. I do a 500 degree oven because I don't have a pizza oven, and when it comes out, you can see the olive oil, nice and brown. Some nice, look at that, nice springiness to this. And that's it. So that is basically the whole thing. The insides, we didn't add. If you want to freeze them or whatever, you don't have to put the tomato sauce on top, but you end up with a nice, look at that, nice crust, and really soft. Springs back for the whole deal. All right, so that is how you make a calzone.